Hello, Buddy Woodbury with W Hunt Supply. Today we're going to introduce the mini series collars from Garmin. This is a T5 mini collar and a TT15 mini collar. This video, we're going to give you a short overview of some of the features and the differences between the T5 and the TT15 full-size collars compared to the mini collars. We'll give you a little bit of a comparison, what you can expect out of these mini collars, what they were designed for, and how they worked in the field for us. So stay tuned for this video and we'll cut through some of the options for you. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the size of the T5 mini. So obviously, if we compare a T15 mini compared to a TT15 full-size collar, you can see there's quite a bit of difference. So number one, the obvious is it fits a smaller neck. The GPS on the TT15 mini was designed with a shorter strap in between, so that when it does fit a smaller dog's neck, the GPS kind of rides closer to the top of the dog's neck. It's lighter weight. So our TT15 collars are weighing 7.5 ounces, and the T5 mini collars, which have the orange cap on top, these are weighing approximately 7 ounces compared to the heavier full-size collars. So the design of the case is designed a little bit more friendly for a small dog. Sometimes a small dog's legs will hit the side of the casing, especially on the larger collars. So they kind of curve the edges a little bit, so they're a little softer curve, lighter weight, and it also, like I said, we mentioned earlier, it fits the dog's neck of a smaller size dog. We've tried these on beagles, feists, we've tried on terriers, and even young hound pups, and the collars really do fit well. Garmin uses an 18.5 antenna for these collars. They didn't use the longer antenna just on these smaller dogs. It causes it to rotate a little bit more. The design is basically, if anybody's familiar with the Pro Trash Breaker casing, it's basically following that profile. So if you've seen a Pro Trash Breaker collar, basically the bottom, the battery casing, all that looks very similar. It just has the GPS on top. So next we'll slide into the performance that we've seen out of this collar. We've been testing these collars for quite a while. One of the things that everybody will notice is it does have a smaller battery life, or it does have a smaller battery, for the lighter weight. So obviously with a smaller battery, unfortunately we're going to see a little bit less run time on the collars. In 10 seconds we've been seeing about 24 to 25 hours battery life. 2.5 second update rates, we can get about 15 to 16 hours of battery life. You can read our full review online. The antennas, one of the first things I noticed was the antenna actually comes off the dog on the other side, which isn't a big deal. Old telemetry collars used to come out this way, and the Garmin, so that was one of the things that we noticed that just changed. Not anything critical. On these collars, you'll notice Garmin advertises a 4-mile tracking distance range. And if you pay attention, on the full-size collars, Garmin gives a 9-mile range. So on paper from Garmin, you would think these collars track half the distance of the full-size collars. We have not seen that at all. We've seen the mini collars track absolutely the same as the full-size collars. So distance-wise, I've consistently tracked these collars at 3, 4, 5 miles an hour, or 5 miles away with a truck external antenna. When I lose the mini collar, I'm also losing my TT15 collars. So as far as us at W are concerned, tracking distance is absolutely the same. We've put it on our spec analyzer. We're getting the same power out of the collars, so we're not quite sure why on paper the marketing shows 4 miles versus 9 miles, but in our tests we have not seen anything to indicate that this collar is any less performance than a TT15 collar or a T5 collar, with the exception of the battery life. The battery life is the only downside to having a mini collar that we've found. Some of the features, if we talk about some of the features for the mini collars, we'll first start with the T5 collar. All the features that a T5 full-size collar has, the mini collar has as well. There is one feature that the mini collars that Garmin added for the mini collars that are not on the full-size TT15 collars or T5 collars, and that's what's called a sleep mode. So by entering these collars into a sleep mode, what it does is it turns the transmitter off of the collar. So the collar's still on, and it just is not transmitting its location out. So it's not using that battery to transmit its location out. I think the intended purpose is, since you have a smaller battery life, you can turn your sleep mode on when you're not physically hunting. If you're driving from a different spot, or you have all your dogs loaded up, or something, you can turn your collars off with the alpha, and it'll save the battery life of the alphas. And then when you get to your next hunting spot, you can simply wake the collars up and turn them back on. That feature is only available when you pair it with the Garmin Alpha 100. So a T5 collar, as we all know, can track on an Alpha collar or an Astro 320 collar, not at the same time, but when it's paired in the Alpha collar mode, you can have that sleep mode. So I just want to make sure that it's clear that sleep mode is not available in the Astro mode at all. If we talk about your TT15 mini collars, again, basically all of the same features as a TT15 full-size collar. Bark mode, you have the bark mode, the rescue mode. You have all of those features that you see in your full-size TT15 collars that we've come to expect. Again, on the TT15 mini collar, you also have that sleep mode in the Alpha mode. So those are the two features that, or the one feature that is not in the full-size collars that are actually in the mini collars. So with that said, we've actually been running them. I'm quite impressed with them. I've been using them on a little pup and tracking distances, and they've been working every bit as good as the TT15 collars. They're just a smaller package, again, a little less battery life, but for those guys running the smaller dogs, the beagles, the feists, the squirrel dogs, your terriers, these collars are really going to be, I think, a welcome addition to the Garmin lineup. This is Buddy Woodbury again. If you guys have any questions, you can call W Hunt and Supply, 855-384-8687. We're basically the experts in the Garmin, Astro, and Alpha product lines. Any one of my staff here can help you answer questions, help you figure out any issues you have, or what system works best for you. And we can tell you how they've been working and if it's a good system for you. So give us a call.